However, the female version is even more insidious. It's more insidious because as big as the male problem is, the female problem is not only bigger, it's more invisible. This trap is big business, even bigger than the business of making men angry, for the simple reason that women tend to spend more money than men.
So why is it that I can be wifey material doing all the right things? A guy can say that he really cares or loves you. You have everything together, but you're not his choice at the moment.
The conversation you heard from the lady speaking is a relatively simple one to solve. And to be honest with you, the church solved this problem 50 years ago. But it's not fashionable to live that way anymore in the modern era. So what you're going to hear is an explanation for how you deal with that in the vacuum of a church that taught people to live in a certain way to form families. And it sounds like what you always hear.
You are being a wifey to a man that ain't even your boyfriend yet. And you are questioning him instead of questioning yourself. What about your self-worth makes you feel like giving those intimate, deep parts of yourself to a man that ain't even committed to you? My point is, if he ain't ready, say next.
Marketers have learned that tapping into female fantasy can be insanely profitable. And the way this is done, at least among many content creators online, is by making women feel right.
You deserve better than being placed on layaway by a man that may not ever get you out of that.
I don't have to show you the comments for you to know how favorably many young ladies reacted to this video. And in fact, good on Nate's metaphor. He found a void in a capitalistic market. He is capitalizing off of it. Of course, there will be some collateral damage 5, 10, 20 years down the road, but capitalism cares about the short term, and it is what it is. But the void shouldn't even be there in the first place. All of these relationship gurus telling young ladies how to get what they want in the dating scene because the church had it figured out. Marry young to a guy who works hard and build a life together, and then pool your resources. In 2 or 3 decades, you're going to be sitting pretty. It's boring, but it worked. Instead, the church is falling in line and preaching the same message.
Though they may not be exhibiting a high degree of integrity, they are clearly savvy businessmen. And some of these creators, especially the men who do this, are making a metric ton of money off these women by telling them exactly the they want to hear.
I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. For example, any woman listening to this can attest in our culture. Don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are going to do them. They're going to look at you and wonder, why you not married?
Where your man at? Where your kids at?
And these men are extremely good at reflecting back to women what they already feel and believe, which is generally what women want to hear when they go to their friends or their therapists or their boyfriends for advice.
Like it's a prerequisite for identity and value, that if you don't have a man, if you don't have kids, that something about you is broken. Do you understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
And how we super spiritualize these messages. Paul said, but marriage is a necessary distraction.
That is, they want to hear that they're right and that the problem lies elsewhere.
Nothing encourages intelligent thinking black men to go passport bros or SYSBM more than simple irony on display, in my opinion. And here we have a textbook example of it. This is a pastor who has an opportunity to speak with a man who has had children with 4, 5, 6 different women. He's made none of those women his wives. They are all just baby mamas. And instead of him talking about the importance of marriage and family, he's going to argue against it, that getting married is not really that big a deal at all, which just falls back into the narrative of tell people what they want to hear. If the church is going to do this, then what's the point of the church? Just do what you like to, and everything's going to shake out at the end.
I have many friends that were in ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're going to be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not going to let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single. And so what people do, they quickly get married thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma.
Daddy, you're not talking.
I'm too hungry, Mother. I'm so hungry, I'm busy with this dinner.
I want to go a Norway, Mama.
You want to go to Norway?
Me too.
Why do you want to go? Why do you want to go, Dexter?
Who is the prize name for?
Well, Mom.
I think you know, Velma.
You can be single and be used by God. You can be single and have purpose. Being married is not a prerequisite for God's hand on your life. It is not, but we've weaponized it. And then crucify people, where my camera at?
Right
and
there.
And then crucify people when those same marriages don't.
Bam!
Some years ago, was this man named Alfred Nobel. And he was an inventor. And he gave a dynamite and such things. And when he died, he told people when he died that he was a millionaire and he had lots of money. So he told the people when he died that every year.
This video comes on the eve of Meg Thee Stallion releasing her song Mamushi, which means black viper, poisonous black snake. And in this particular video, she is pushing the limits of what is acceptable in music video for general audiences. I would dare say it's not for general audiences because several times in the video, she essentially shows her birthday suit. But not only is she hypersexualizing herself as she normally does, this, of course, a week after she was on stage singing a song, or this song in particular, for a presidential candidate's rally. But she's also sexualizing Japanese women in this video. And this is not necessarily something that's done in public in this country. It's a clear attempt to spread the culture that's in the black community of shake your booty, do what you want to do, have fun, and don't judge me for what I do culture everywhere. And there are black men that have a remedy for it because, quite frankly, it's getting out of hand.
That Japanese song, but anyway, like really in an election year, that's what you're doing. But you know, anything to sell records. So.
Hey, I'm like this. Okay, let them do it. So, you go to your good Black Christopher flow. Is this y'all voting for?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, my thing.
I think we're gonna have to do black men. Are gonna have a convention about sexual mores of women. I mean, in terms of like, okay, we just not doing this stuff no more. You know, like almost like an establish of some sort of Sharia law or something.
Yeah, because it was gonna have to go there eventually.
It's getting way out of hand.
It is getting out of control. Yeah.
I'm not one to vouch for Sharia law because I don't know anything about Islam or how it's practiced, but something drastic needs to be done because, quite simply, Maya is a microcosm for how the black community is doing it 100% upside down backwards. Beautiful young lady, very talented singer that everyone was head over heels for when she was singing in the 90s. And instead of being celibate until she met her husband and having 2 or 3 kids that look just like her, that would be just as beautiful, maybe more beautiful than she is, maybe even going to R&B as singers or even making songs together with their mother, here she is basically extolling the virtues of being celibate in her 30s and 40s. It's 100% the opposite way that it should go. And so instead of another family that is enjoying an upper middle class, upper class lifestyle, she is out here by herself trying to convince herself and other young ladies that this is the way that you should do it. Have fun in your 20s and 30s and then make peace with your celibate lifestyle or however you choose to live your lifestyle, which is the opposite of what's going to produce more of us. The twerk, do whatever you want in your 20s and 30s that feels good, and you can't judge me for what I do. Meg Thee Stallion culture is eliminating the black community. We don't have healthy families that are creating healthy young boys and girls that are competing with other cultures around the world. And instead, what we're trying to do is feed our dysfunctional culture, or at least Meg the Stallion is trying to do, feed this culture to other cultures to be like us. When they look at our culture that is as dysfunctional as it is, and they see it for the game that it is, because our children will not be able to compete with their children, especially if we aren't even having them in proper families. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Catch you in the next video. Take care.